Hello to you. My name is Jesse R. Johnson, and this is part 2 of Institutions, Society, Sociology, the 12 Institutions of Humanity. Another major universal principle of institutions is when one institution is in the service of another. In other words, institution A is the primary institution and B is the secondary institution, such as B is in the service of A. B is working or employed by A, so to speak. This is one of the main reasons for the complexity of almost all human societies, past and present, and especially for today's large populated societies in the hundreds of millions. When B walks into A's house, so to speak, then A has the say-so. When A, which turns into B now, walks into B's house, then B, which turns into A now, has the say-so. The 12 universal institutions of humanity, once again, in order of general comparative importance, are, hold on please, I'm going to move the camera. Now, to continue. The institutions. Family takes care of the most important institution, not the most powerful necessarily, but the most important is number 1, family, which takes care of sex and lineage. 2, spiritual, which takes care of esoteric knowledge. 3, medical, which takes care of health methods. Science, which takes care of factual knowledge only. The law, which takes care of behavior rules. Number 6 is economic, which takes care of expedient use of things. Education, to indoctrinate. Art, the creative purpose. Mass media, information dissemination. Religion, exoteric knowledge. Political, authority and security. And poverty, institution. Number 12, which takes care of dominating, subduing, and oppressing others. Now, because humans have made the less important institutions, such as poverty, economics, religion, and political, as the most important institutions above the other institutions which are in fact more important than them, and have socially made these anti-life field, worldwide ecocide systems patterns, such that these less important institutions and the ways in which they are structured together has forced the human race into a suicide-directed extinction for and toward itself and our species. In other words, we are helping nature exterminate us as a species. Now we will continue. Now, this here is an example of an institution being in the service of another. This is illustration B. Illustration B. Now, do these two seem the same to you? Political, religion? Religion, political? Do they seem the same to you? They're not. A political religious system is not the same as a religious political system. It is not the same as this one. This is A, and this is B. Political, A, religion, B. Or religion, A, political, B. And B is always in the service of A in this regard. A is primary. A. Number 2 here would be A for religion there. And since A is primary, then B is secondary. A will use B for good or ill in its own ways, depending on intentions. Every institution is primary unto itself, and all other institutions are secondary to it. The only two institutions that it is possible to live without or permanently remove and eliminate are the religion and poverty institutions. The 10 others can be changed in certain detailed makeup, but is impossible to remove without exterminating the society and culture. The other 10 are necessary and sufficient for the permanent structure of a society and culture. In other words, this is B in the service of A. This one here is B in the service of A. Hold on, please. These here are how institutions look when they are in the service of each other. Hold on. We will begin with family, where family is A. Family is A, and all the other institutions are in position B. Therefore, B is in the service of A. Anything that steps into the family's house, the family does everything to make it behave, so to speak, in the form that the family and all of its laws and rules dictates for everything else that steps into its house to behave in a certain form. In other words, B is in the service of A. We will go now to the second most important institution, which is the spiritual institution. And when anything steps into the spiritual institution, A, all spirituals written all the way down, A, B is in the service of A. Everything becomes in the service of spiritual. We will go now to the next most important thing, such as, let me say a few things. The next one, most important institution, is medical. The medical institution, anything stepping into the medical institution's house, so to speak, such as family, spiritual, science, law, economic, education, art, mass media, religion, political, poverty, the medical institution will treat all of it in a way that steps up its health in any way that medical can determine, will step up everything's health in every possible way it can. The same thing with spiritual. Step into the spiritual people's house, into the spiritual world, and the spiritual will turn everything into spiritual and take it to the top, the ultimate top of all life itself. No other institution is well, let me continue. The next most important institution is science. Anything stepping into the house, so to speak, of science, which is A, such as family and so on, all the other institutions, which is B, B will be in the service of A, and science will study all of these things, all of it, taking apart, analyzing it, understanding it, comprehending it. It will walk into the world of science, and science will do what science, use the methods and understanding of science to bring all of the other institutions up to its own standards of comprehension. Hence, B will be in the service of A. The next institution is law. The law institution, B in the service of A. The law institution will create laws and rules for everything and seek to make everything in its own image. Well, at least up to 10%. The next most important institution is the economic institution. Every single thing that steps all of the institutions which steps into the economic institution, the economic institution will consider it either a resource or the sensible use of every single thing there is within. In other words, B will be in the service of A, which is economic. We will go to education. The same thing happens with education. B in the service of A, education. All other institutions will be in the service of education when these institutions step, so to speak, into the education's house, so to speak. In the educational institution, that is. The next and most important institution is art. Everything that steps into the art institution will be B in the service of A. Even though I forgot to write it up here, nonetheless, it's B in the service of A. You will find paintings with the family. You will find sculpture. You will find music. You will find sewing and crafts and everything else in all of these other institutions because it has stepped into arts, the art institution. The next one will be the mass media. The mass media is A, and here are the other institutions. If they step into mass media will send out all information about them in every direction to everybody else. It is the mass media, and the mass media will have B in its service, sending out all these information from all of the institutions in every direction. The next most important institution is religion. Religion is A, and B is here. And B here will be in the service of A. And anything stepping into the religion's house, so to speak, or into the religion institution, religion will seek to turn it toward a religious frame of mind. Poverty, a religious frame of mind. Political, a religious frame of mind. Mass media, a religious frame of mind. The art with all of the icons and images of that religion and so forth and so on. And we'll seek education, and we'll seek to teach its own belief systems in the education and so forth and so on. The next most important institution is political. Political includes authority, and it also includes security, and anything that steps into the political institution, no matter what the other institutions are, political will seek to manipulate it, connive and con and everything else to make the family act like it wants to, make the medical act like it wants to, like make the law into political laws as much as it can. You will see political leaders when it comes to art and statues of art, political leaders and all of this stuff in the political world. B will be in the service of A, in other words. And the last most important institution is poverty institution. The poverty institution, which is a great deal of human beings in hunger and agony and all of these things because of many reasons, but mainly because of political religion and the manipulation of them is why you mainly have poverty. These others are seeking not to ever have poverty in any form. But B will be in the service of A, and poverty will take the family. In poverty, it will take spiritual matters in poverty. It will take medical matters into poverty. It will bring all of these institutions in B and deal with them in such a way that poverty can remove itself in the world. So poverty, an institution, and B when it is in the service of A. I want to thank everyone for listening and watching, and have a very good day.